Hello, everyone. Um, Today's been another hard day. This is going to be an emotional video for me. What I want to talk about today are fallacies about mental illness. Um, what we perceive externally if we don't understand what the symptomology is. Uh, and this is based on my own personal experience, but mostly because of what my son has experienced with his mental illness. It's Gigi. She's saying hi. Um, every day, well, first I'll start with he has severe borderline personality disorder. Borderline personality disorder is a difficult illness to pin down. It's a difficult illness because of the symptomology of it. Um, Most people misunderstand many things about it. They believe that the thought process behind many symptoms of borderline personality disorder are very he's either hot or cold, or he's it's a very there's a lot of opposites to his behavior. um his anger will build, and what a big part of it stems from, and this is the part that makes me the most upset. Oh, bad hair. um and I'm going to be brutally honest. Many of his friends who have said that they would stick by him have not. um Back in November, his closest and dearest friend, who promised never to leave him, did. He moved in there for a month because he wanted to see if he could move out and try to do things on his own. And I didn't believe at the time that it would work out, but I trusted the people that he was moving in with because I believed that they had his best interest at heart and that they understood that he was sick, that he wasn't trying to be difficult, that he wasn't trying to be a burden, that it's just how he is and that it's an illness. And what transpired was, I won't go into the details of it, but towards the end of it, because they assumed that them trying to do things to support him and him not accepting it meant that he wasn't trying, or that he just didn't care, and that he was faking his symptomology or the hell that he was in each day. And I want to make very clear what mental illness is like. It is fucking hell. When I say it's hell, it is fucking hell. Um, I suffered for it for many years myself due to a very traumatic childhood. Um, when that happens, all our belief systems are formed pretty much before the age of 5. And when we grow up with trauma as a child, and even when we're older than that, we blame ourselves for what happens. We blame ourselves for the way our abusers lash out at us or treat us or invalidate us or hurt us deeply. We believe that we are the ones at fault, that we're the problem. And it took me a lot of years to work through that myself, to understand. Oh, I knew I'd cry. To understand that I was sick and I was only reaching out for love and acceptance and validation and hoping that someone, excuse me, would see through the pain and through some of my behaviors and understand that I wasn't trying to be inappropriate, or if my behavior was very scattered and inconsistent, it was only because I felt that way inside so deeply. Some days when you suffer from mental illness, just getting out of bed to go to the bathroom is excruciating. Taking a shower is excruciating. Sometimes you just desperately wait for someone to contact you to show that they care. And what I find very disheartening in this world is how easy it is for people to judge and especially lash out on social media. He's had so many people lash out on him on social media because they accused him of faking his illness, or, excuse me, doing things for attention. Um, if I'm honest, he's suicidal on a very regular basis. The only reason why he isn't dead is because he's terrified of death. There has been many times he stood on top of a bridge and got angry at himself for not having the balls to jump. He's been in the hospital 4 times, which is not a solution. Our mental health care system in Canada is atrocious. It's embarrassing. It's fucking embarrassing. It takes everything to get you in the damn hospital, and you have to say, yes, I'm going to kill myself at this moment, or they won't admit you. And they try to find every means possible not to admit you. Finding a proper therapist, finding a doctor that understands is very difficult. His doctor right now, and I won't name his name, is very judgmental, can be very cruel. Twice has threatened to dump him as a patient without giving him a referral to anyone else. And I thank God so much because we can't afford to have him in counseling. We tried for a while when I had a job that I was able to do because of my health. I got laid off from that because of they closed the locations that I worked at. So since then, it's been very, very difficult financially, but we found someone that actually took him on for free, which astounds me. Personally, I would do something like that if I was a therapist and I was making a good living and I encountered someone in such despair that, excuse me again, that isn't able to function, isn't able to work, isn't able to really do anything because of the hell that they're in. He now has a part-time job that I'm really thankful for, but the money goes very fast. He's now understanding that all the money that we've given him to support him over the last year or two has cost us a lot because things are much more expensive than kids realize if they get them for free. But what I mainly want to discuss is if you know somebody that is suffering, it's so easy because of the discomfort to just avoid them because you don't want to feel the same energy, or you'd rather not. Maybe you just, it's something difficult for people to understand. It's something difficult for people to be around sometimes. But I'm hoping to encourage you to be compassionate. It just takes one message sometimes to reach out to somebody that you know is struggling and telling them that you love them and that you value them and that you don't want them to die. I hoped I wouldn't cry, but if I'm honest, each day I'm terrified I will find my child dead. Each fucking day, I am terrified today will be the day that I lose him. He's 20 years old, and he's been sick since he's been 14. The way it started was he shared with his best friend who lived in our house for like years. Every weekend, he slept over 1 or 2 nights for about 4 years, and he was the leader of their friend group. And he basically said that, well, I don't want to be around you anymore. This is too much. And I don't give a rat's ass if you die because you're nothing to me anymore. And we had the messages that he sent to support that. The cruelty that people have enacted towards him is astounding to me. It's fucking astounding to me. And I'm going to be brutally honest because I know my kid. I know my child. I wish my kids didn't tell me as much as they do, but they are very honest with me about everything in their lives. And I've tried to build honest communication with them so that they know that if they're in trouble or that if they're struggling, that they can come to us and that they can talk to us about anything, because to me that's really important. Honesty and compassion and acceptance are extremely important, and the work that I'm doing is to honor that, and in the hopes that I can teach other people. Yeah, my snot's running down my nose. It's very nice. So that I can educate and hopefully encourage people to show compassion. Just a smile to somebody that is struggling can make such a huge difference in their day. Just sending a message to somebody if you know that they have mental illness and they're struggling and saying, hey, you're important to me. I don't want you to die. Yet it's so easy for people to hide behind a screen and lash out and shame you if your behavior is something that has upset them without them ever acknowledging or thinking of their own behavior. So many times he has been obliterated on social media. There have been so many lies that have been spread about him. I don't want to go into all the big ones. I will in later videos because I have much to say about it. But what I want you to know is mental illness is real, and it is an epidemic that is, especially in North America, so many young people are struggling and are suffering. And a big part of that is they haven't learned how to connect to other people. They've grown up in the information age and they think that talking to someone on social media is connecting. It always astounded us that on Friday, Saturday nights, our kids would be at home and they would be playing videos with their friends, but their friends would be at their place, and that's how they thought of as spending an evening with someone. That it just astounded us. I just encourage you to show compassion instead of judgment, to be kind, to be accepting, to understand that that person is probably in the depths of hell. It's being at war with your mind all the time and never being able to be consistent and beating yourself up for that and feeling so much shame and having so much self-hatred towards yourself. That's a big part of mental illness that I don't know if many people talk about, but it's like a form of self-torture that they can't get out of. And no matter how they try, and no matter what I have learned and what I have tried to implement, it's hard for him to do it because he doesn't believe he can get better. And if you can't believe you can get better, how the fuck are you going to be able to? And the way that you start believing that you can is changing your thought process, which is a really hard thing to do. But one of the ways, and I spoke about this in my last video about the Darren Brown visualization technique, going to bed is a really good time right before bed to retrain your subconscious mind. It's a very good time to listen to guided meditations that will retrain your subconscious. You have to be able to believe something is possible for you before it actually becomes possible. And I just want to encourage people to keep going, that your life is valuable, that you're here for a reason, that even if you're struggling today, just keep going one more day. If nothing else, and you feel like you have no one to talk to, there's so many forums online that are specifically made for people that are suffering from mental illness and different variations thereof. Borderline personality disorder is a very difficult one. It's very similar to bipolar. The behavior is very erratic, very unpredictable. You can be up one moment and feel on top of the world, and the next moment feel like you want to be dead and everything is falling in on you. I just want to educate people on that and to embrace compassion over judgment. I don't want my child to die, and every day I try so hard to show him compassion and let him know how loved he is, but I'm human. Some days I fuck up too. Some days I get angry. Some days I get frustrated. Some days I don't know what to say and I don't know what to do, no matter how much knowledge that I have learned in order to try to help him. And it's my hope that this channel will educate people. I would like to very much be a mental health advocate as well as an awakening, or I can't even fucking talk, an awakening spiritual mentor, coach, teacher. I hope to help you create lives that honor you, that make you feel excited to wake up in the morning, that make you feel that spark inside you, that honors the light within you. Um, because I'm bawling my eyes out. That's all that I'm going to say right now. But please don't discount the people in your life that are hurting. It's easier to ignore them, but it's not honoring them. If there is someone you love that is suffering from mental illness, please tell them you love them. Please tell them how much you value them and that you don't want them to die and that you're there for them. And please mean it. Thank you for anybody that's watched this. My hope is just to bring value to your lives and to help you to open to being understanding. We all talk about the buzzword is reconciliation, and everybody wants recognition for all the things that are wrong with them. But, excuse me again. And it's very common to embrace this victim mentality. But the way out is by taking responsibility for you, by taking responsibility for your actions, by taking responsibility for what keeps you bound, and by facing up to them. If you don't have a therapist and you need to find support, there's many resources online that are free. I know that there's one out of the University of Regina. I believe it's BetterHelp. I will have to look it up and I will share that in my next video. But they do cognitive behavioral therapy for free online for people that need it. There's also always mental health services that can be provided for free. They're just really hard to access, and it's hard to find somebody specially trained for things like this. I'm so thankful that we found a therapist that was actually willing to take her child on for free. That was a miracle to me, and I'm so thankful for that. And I'm always grateful for all the blessings that are in our lives. I'm so grateful for the people in my life that I love that have stood by me. All my dear friends who are a family. A husband that somehow has stood by me. Because I have not been easy to marry or to be married to. Although I don't think anybody is. But after 23 years of marriage, I'm very thankful we are still married and that we, even though we're oil and water, that we love each other very much and we've built a relationship of honesty and acceptance. I just encourage you, tell the people that you love them and try to be there for them if they need you. I know it's difficult, but it can make the difference between someone living and someone taking their own life. So thank you for anybody that's watched this, and I'm sorry I'm so snotty. I tried to actually look nice today, but so much for that, but that's not what this is about. So thank you all. I love you. I honor you. I see you. I honor the light and the divinity in you. You are valuable. You are important. You are loved. Thank you, and namaste. See you next time.